This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Autumn Ridge model 26 BHS. Okay, we'll just go over some of the features, some of the appliances, that sort of thing. Of course, you got a little kitchenette here with a 110 AC refrigerator. There's no switch or anything, so as soon as you plug in your shore power, it'll turn on. Also, you get this sprayer with a coiled hose with it that you can use on these quick connect. This one here, there's probably another one. We'll keep our eyes open for it. Also, you've got scissor type stabilizers that take a 3/4 inch crank or a socket on a drill. You have a power awning with a LED strip. Now keep in mind, this is the vent for your range hood. So if you're venting to the outside using the fan in your range hood, you want the baffle to flap freely like this so it vents. Okay, otherwise you keep it shut when you're traveling or in storage, that sort of thing. Alright, outside speakers. Now this is your fresh water tank. I mean, most of the time you'll be using city water, but on those occasions where the place you're camping does not have city water, you can pre-fill this fresh water tank here and then use the onboard water pump to pump water. So keep in mind, you always can have water under both circumstances. You just have to plan a little farther ahead and fill your fresh water tank. Okay, also that right there, right there is your drain for your fresh water tank. Hopefully you can see that. This is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. So we'll show you how that works when you pick up your trailer. Also, you see you've got a crank, 3/4 inch crank, plus you get this right here, which will go right in your drill. It's 3/4 inch if you choose to, and you actually give you another one. I don't know why you'd have three, but you got them. Okay. Also, when it comes to your power tongue jack here, if this was to fail, you can pull this rubber plug off the top and use a 3/4 inch crank or the socket on a drill, whatever, to crank this up and down manually to get yourself out of trouble if you need to. Okay, you got a deep cycle marine battery. Okay, this is your dump hose here, and you have a reducer right there for your shore cord. Okay, so this one has a 50 amp cord with it. So you can see that you've got the 50 amp cord. It's 30 feet long. But we have it reduced down right here. You get this reducer. This will reduce it down to a 30. And then the other one I showed you reduces it down even more. Okay? Alright, so this is your water dock here. So you hook your hose right up to here. Right? If you look at this drawing here, when this blue lever is in the vertical position like it is right now, that's city water. So that would just, you turn on your hose and it feeds all your fixtures, right? Now, if you're going to fill your tank, because you don't have plumbing on the campsite where you're going, you just change the position to horizontal like I just did. You can see it right there, and that'll fill your fresh water tank up. Okay, so you both circumstances. And like I said, there's two ways to fill your fresh water tank with this trailer. This one and the one on the other side. So you have two options. This is that sprayer I showed you can hook up here too. And then you've got cable through to the trailer, campground cable, and whatever else, sometimes satellite. So one last thing with this is the black tank flush right here. All right, so after you dump your tanks, let me get back a little bit. You've got your gray tank and your black tank. Black tank valve is for the black valve's for the black tank, which is toilet water and waste. The gray is for the gray tank, which is sink and shower water. So you always dump the black tank first, then you dump the gray to kind of wash things out. Then you leave your black tank valve open. You can hook the hose at the dump station onto here, and this will spray out your black tank and clean off the sensors. Just do a good job cleaning it out. Okay. Alrighty. So you can see by the housing up there, this is pre-wired for a backup camera if you choose to get one. It's a Furrion camera that fits in there. Okay. Also, while we're looking up, you have to keep in mind the manufacturer states you should check the roof every 90 days. So you or somebody else needs to go up there. You can walk around. Be careful. But you check the sealant, make sure there's no crack or separation. You're going to check the roofing material and the vent covers to make sure they didn't get hit or damaged by low branches, that sort of thing. Just give it a good inspection. Odds are you won't have to do anything for a long time, but that's why you inspect it, just to make sure. If you do see an issue, get it taken care of immediately. Alright, so this is your water heater. The switches are inside the trailer. The thing to show you right here is this is where you drain it. Right, so that takes an 1 1/16" socket, a 6-point socket. So you'll need one of those plus an extension to drain your water heater tank. Now one other thing right here, you can see this is a quick connect fitting for the LP system. So if you were to put a grill back here or a griddle or whatever kind of low pressure RV appliance that you're using, you can use that quick connect to tap it into the LP system. Okay, let's go inside. Okay. Oh, somebody's got the AC going. Ooh, it's like cold, but good cold. Alright, so your awning in and out here. You can see we'll go in with it. It'll take a while, but... So the main thing to remember about the awning is you never leave it out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in so it doesn't get damaged by the wind or weather. That's something that you'd have to go through your insurance company for, and they don't always, depending on the policy, but they're not always receptive to it anyway. So make sure you don't leave it out. This is for your slide room right here. Okay, in and out, very simple. This is your panel here. So your battery is charged. As you can see, all the lights are lit up here. Your fresh water has 1/3 in it, right? Your black is empty. Your gray is empty. So it graduates up in 1/3 increments. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping your gray and your black tank. All right, I told you the water pump. You can use the water pump to pump water. That's that right there. You also use the water pump to winterize the trailer and de-winterize it. To light your water heater on LP gas, you just go like that. And to light it on or turn it on electric, which is most people will be using most of the time, you just do this. Just always remember there's water. You make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn that element on, because it'll burn it out very quickly. So the most common way is to hook up your city water. Then you turn on a hot water valve, let's say in the bathroom, for example. And if air comes out of the faucet, well, that means there's air in the tank. It's not full, but then you'll have a mixture of air and water. Pretty soon you get solid water coming out of the hot water. Then you know the tank's full. Okay. Alrighty. So let me look here. See what I've got here. Okay. So obviously your TV hangs here. This red light is the signal booster for the digital antenna. So you can shut it off, turn it on. It should always be on when you're using the antenna. Otherwise you won't get a good reception. This is your sound here, and it's an AM or FM radio, of course, and you can stream off this USB, right? It's also Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet and stream. You have 2 speaker zones, one inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer, zone 1 and zone 2, and this HDMI is an in, so you can actually go into the system. Let's say you've got a portable Blu-ray player or a game machine or something, for rainy days. Well, you could set it here where your TV's up here. Obviously, you set it right here, plug it in, run the cable right to the HDMI in, and you go right into the system that way. Okay. This device here is the carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It detects carbon monoxide buildup or in LP gas leak. So if it goes off, obviously you take everybody outside, make sure that everybody's out. Open the door, shut off the gas, figure out what's going on. If it beeps very slowly, it's telling you your battery is low. So I'm going to just set it off so you can hear it. LP is good. Carbon monoxide coming up. Okay, and the next one is your low battery alert. And then back to green. It should always be green. If not, get it serviced. Okay, so what have we here? Okay, so this device down here is your power converter. So this converts AC to DC power. So you have regular 110 AC circuit breakers right here, like you'd have at home, and they're all labeled, right? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC over here. You got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. Also, when you're plugged into shore power, this is a battery tender, so it'll always make sure your battery stays charged too while you're plugged in. Of course, when you're pulling the trailer, your alternator on your tow vehicle will be charging the battery, and when you're plugged in, this charges it. So, okay? That's the power converter. Okay, so this is a DC refrigerator. So it's DC, 12 volts, and so it'll run off battery. It'll run off the 12 volt side of the power converter, so to speak. So it runs on 12 volts. Okay. To operate is very simple. You have on off, you have your temperature up and down, and then these are power saving modes here. Like you can use them at night, for example, when you don't need to keep it up that high. So there's a power saving mode. Drive me nuts here with that. There we go. So your microwave works like any other microwave, right? This is the range that I told you about. Remember I told you about the baffle on the outside, that you want it to flap freely, so this vents outside when you turn the fan on. That's important, obviously. You got light. Your range, you have to spark it to light it. So you got 3 burners, right, and 3 knobs right here. So you're just going to turn it on, and then you're going to turn this clockwise to spark it. You see it lit right there. So the sparker turns clockwise, right? Like I said, a burner, an off-bridge burner. Then this one over here is for the oven. So what you do with this is you're going to, first of all, there's a, at the bottom here, all the way to the back is a pilot light. Maybe I can spark it so you can see it. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. So what I do is I'll go to the picture of the flame, which means pilot light. Then you depress it, and you keep it depressed. Then you're going to spark it with your other hand by turning this clockwise until you see the pilot light down here light. Once it lights, you hold this for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up, and you set it to whatever temperature it cycles like an oven does. But when you shut the thing off, the pilot light goes off, so you have to relight it each time you use the oven. Okay, looking around here, see what we forgot, if anything. You got a nice roof vent out here also. I believe every room has one. Let me look in the front. I don't know if the front does or not. Yeah, so you have 2 roof vents, one in this area and then one in the bathroom. Okay, so this, let me see here, this jackknifes flat to a bed, your sofa. Then you can also drop the poles here and set this tabletop down on these cleats. There's 4 of them, and then use the back cushions to fill in the space. You got another bed there. Your thermostat is very simple. You're just going to hit the mode button to light it up. So you hit the mode button once it lights up, then you go through. It'll go through heating and air conditioning, which they'll call cool, fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. The thing to keep in mind is when they give you an option of high, low, or automatic for the fan speed, always choose automatic. It's the best way to go. Okay, so this is a GFCI. Keep in mind that even if the plugs are not GFCIs, you know, throughout the trailer and on the outside, they're always wired through this. So keep in mind if you pop using an appliance outside that pops, you're going to reset it in here. Sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. You have another vent. This one has a motor in it, a fan, so make sure you use that with the shower to pull the humidity out. It's important because these trailers are built really tight these days. This is your flush pedal here, okay? So the thing to remember if you haven't had an RV toilet before is when I open it up here, the black tank is directly below, right? So we're not hooked up to water right now, so that's just residual water coming out. So what you do is you get to the campground, you plug it in, you hook up your water, then you'll come inside and you'll dump 1 dose of chemical right in the bowl. Then you'll stand on the flush pedal, keep it open, water will come swirling out around and down into the black tank. You stand on it till you put about a gallon or so of water in there, okay? It doesn't have to be exact, but you put about a gallon. Some people use more, whatever. The main thing to remember is you can't use it without water and chemical, or the smell will be terrible, and plus it can get clogged up also. So you always want to have water and chemical in there when you start using it. That's important. If you don't do it, you probably only will not do it once anyway. So these are just your bunks, obviously. That one's hinged, so you can pull this side up. You're going to have probably your water heater under there, I would think. The valves for the bypass and that sort of thing. Okay, so your bed pulls up and there's some storage underneath. You have a backing plate for a TV and hookups right here. This is your emergency window. It goes like this. You push it all the way through. And then you're going to grab a hold of this tab, pull it out, and you can exit through that window in an emergency. Okay. So let me look around a little bit here. I think I've covered everything. Yes, I believe so. Okay, so thanks for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about the manufacturer stating to check the sealant on the roof and any place you see sealant or caulk from the factory, as a matter of fact. But pay special attention to the roof. Always check that lap sealant, make sure it's good and tight, no cracking or separation. You might do it for years before you ever see an issue. You might do it for a half a year and see an issue, although that's rare, but it can happen. That's why you inspect it. You always want to make sure that it's in really good shape, okay? Thank you.